Hey folks, so I just realized that my because it happens slowly that I record all my videos using my iPhone headphones, and they're not the best quality. I mean, ever since they switched a lot of their productions over to overseas, a lot of the quality has gone down, and so the headphones they slowly get quieter and quieter, and they lose the ability to record properly because I use them to like record my videos and everything. Like I speak into them just like I would on my, because they're just iPhones. But yeah, I noticed that the quality and the volume of a lot of the videos I do are quiet. I didn't realize it until I plugged in a different set of headphones. So I'm gonna hold the mic a bit closer, and we'll hopefully you'll hear me better. And if not, I'll just turn up the volume on my editing software here, and hopefully that'll fix the problem. No one's commented. I'm just listening in, and then I've noticed it. So onto the particular image. So today's theme of Inktober is dark. I'm not gonna lie. I was fighting the urge to do a Batman picture, do a little Dark Knight. But I decided to go against that idea and instead just sort of do something a little bit more fantasy oriented. Um, Mostly because just the other day I started watching the Disenchantment series on Netflix, the second season. I was hooked. It's a good season, but this isn't a review of that. But it did get me into a fantasy mood. I guess you could say maybe fantasy horror kind of thing, because the theme is dark. So uh, a lot of people on Twitter and on Instagram are doing like horrific or horror themed images, and or maybe even dark depressing images. I want something a little bit more whimsical, if not also slightly on the terrifying side. Um, and this idea mostly came up when I was thinking about the Invader Zim movie on Netflix, because in the opening there they have an anime sequence, and in the sky they had this the face of Zim come through over top the city of whatever city they live in in that show. So I thought, well, hey, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. So I kind of did that. So that's where the idea mostly came from, and so I wanted to keep it like that and do it a bit on the whimsical side. Now, I was a bit concerned, and now I have to wonder some other things, because when I did the ink wash, I wanted to get good and dark in there. Wanted to make sure everything was fairly dark around the eyeball, and so I actually ended up putting like direct ink, like I didn't water it down or nothing. I just put the straight up ink around the eye, and even with doing that, it didn't get very dark, and that bothered me somewhat. I thought, because yeah, I always thought it would get a bit more on the dark side. I'm just going solid ink. I may have to shake the bottle. So that's the technical side of things. But it's a very simple image, very simple little concept I wanted to get going there with the whole, kid going on a camping trip and having an eyeball of the inky blackness of space with just sort of looking back at you. So, but yeah, and I would have had this video done, edited, and recorded up actually maybe an hour or so earlier, except I wanted to wait for the ink to dry, because obviously if you're going to do a nighttime sky, you probably need to put in some stars, and so I would dab with the white gel pen. But experience has shown that I should probably wait until it fully dries, otherwise the gel might soak up some of the ink and become more of a dingy kind of a color, and then you won't be able to see it. So I had to wait, and because it was a fair bit of ink and water I had to put in that sky, I had to wait a little bit. It was actually quite a bit longer than an hour. So yeah, it was a bit of time. So yeah, yeah. But I did like how it overall came out. If I went back to it, I probably darkened the light around the trees a little bit more. I was trying to do a gradient feel, as if the sun was just going down in the background and the eye had just opened up. that was the gist of what I was going for. So I think I kind of got it. I don't know. I always like to hope that I'm getting close to what I'm intending to do. But you can't like part of the problem with working with art is that you don't know what how it's going to turn out. Like you know how you want it to turn out, and then it's a matter of how close can you get to what you think it is. Similar to like when you might see an artist that you greatly admire, and so you try to do what they do, but you can only get so close. There's only so much understanding that you can have about that particular art style. That's a factor. But in a lot of ways, it's kind of a good thing that you can't 100% replicate another artist's art style. I know that there's some people out there who go out of their way and they really learn how to do that style. I was actually given the advice a long time ago from a professional in the comic industry. And this guy said to me, if you want to make money, draw just like Jim Lee. If you don't know who Jim Lee is, just type in Jim Lee comics or whatever, and you'll on like an image search, and you'll find tons of references. They were saying if you draw like him, you'll never go hungry. So it's something to keep in mind. Well, that's my little ramble for today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.